Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. First, I will apologize. I have been under the weather, so I haven't been having time to upload any videos or reply to any comments, but I'm going to do that as soon as I finish this video. As y'all can see, I will be doing a short video about love and marriage Huntsville. Wasn't much to see there, but we still going to have to discuss it, okay? Now, before we get started, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji to everybody who has subscribed, listened to a video, and left a comment. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep leaving a comment. I promise I will get back to you, okay? So y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me, and I definitely appreciate that. Everything I say on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. This is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to try to keep this quick, all right? First, we're going to start off with Marceau and Tisha at that construction site. Tisha coming in there complaining once again, Marceau is not moving fast enough. Marceau said, forget this. I'm sick of you. He said, look, Tisha, stop bringing your frustrations out on me. I am doing the best I can. As y'all can tell by now, if you count it, Marceau is doing three things at one time. He's doing Scott Manor, allegedly. He's doing this Scopes Industries, allegedly. And then, according to him, he's also building Tisha Scott Realty office. Okay? Now, I don't know how many people in his crew or how he's doing all three of these things at one time, but according to Tisha, she think all her workers, his workers need to stop what they're doing there and go over there and fix up her office. And Marceau is getting to the point where he's tired. Now, Marceau is trying to tell Tisha, hey, just trust me. I am your husband. We've been together for 20 years and you still don't trust what I'm doing here. And he's right, because Tisha seems like she is just questioning everything he's doing and why it's taking so long and why my office ain't done. Tisha, go sit down. And then she said, oh, I enjoy being a mom, but I want to be a businesswoman. What is it that you want? Because your former castmate was setting you up to be that woman. But you listened to everybody else and pulled away from against her when you could already had your businesses off and going. I didn't even know you was a realtor. Now you're a realtor? Because before you was doing the mommy podcast, then you was selling shampoo, now you're doing real estate. I mean, I know this is Black excellent and you should have 20, 30 jobs, but it's getting old at this point. We see a lot of titles, but no success. Now, according to Google, all y'all millionaires. I mean, I don't know. I ain't counting your money. But what I am saying is I haven't seen finished products. Tisha, let that man finish a product. Okay? And we'll talk about the projects later on that are gone unfinished. So Tisha and Marceau has gone into this therapy session, and Marceau is just telling her, hey, my love language is touchy, feely. He likes to cuddle, hug, and it doesn't involve intimacy. Tisha apparently grew up in an environment, if a man touch you, I have to be intimate with them. Maybe she was taught how that's love, how love is supposed to be. If a person's love you, then you have to, be intimate with them all the time. So it was weird because she said, I didn't grow up in an environment where people hugged and showed love all the time. I'm like, what? Miss Wanda didn't do that? Or was she too busy out in the Bessemer streets fighting and stealing? That she didn't give you a hug and some love? Now, she never talked bad about you now. She said that you were a smart kid, this, that, and the other, but she didn't give you that affection that you needed. So then you meet a guy who's willing to do that, and you don't know how to reciprocate it because it wasn't taught to you. But my thing is, Tisha, it's been 20 years. At some point, you should know your husband, just like you said, enough to know he enjoys the hugs. He enjoys the cuddling in the bed. He may just want to sit on the couch next to you, tuck your head tucked under his chest, eating popcorn and watching Netflix. You don't know that? And y'all been married for 20 years? Come on, Letitia. And I'm not giving Marceau no grace. I'm just saying, this is what he's complaining about. And you acting like you never knew this, but y'all done had 3 kids. So it makes me go back to what Martell said about you in the backseat of a car with a bunch of dudes. Maybe you felt that's how you love yourself. These guys say they love me, they like me, I'll just give them some. I'll just be intimate with them. Maybe that's what you thought love really was. And if that's the case, Wanda, you felt miserably on that one. I'm just going to say it. So now I understand that. But remember, you said Mel had a dark soul and Nell had a black heart, and you can't even give your husband the hug that he wants. According to him, you just learning how to sit on his lap and play with his hair, rub his head, and you just learning how to. It's just weird to me. 20 years later, Okay? Now you got all this smoking energy for these young ladies. When y'all got stuff going on in y'all house, y'all don't want to discuss with them, but you want them to discuss everything with you. So yes, Nell is right. Y'all aren't transparent. Now we're seeing it being aired, but never once have you sat at that table and said, you know what? Sometimes our soul wants me to do this and this. What do y'all think? Have you ever experienced that? That's what they're asking you. That's what they're asking you. But you don't want to share that with them. All you worried about is whether your husband cheated or not. If you're not being affectionate with him like he wants, there's a good possibility he did cheat on you at this point. And I like Marceau, and I'm just going to say, based on what I'm seeing, yeah, he probably did. Because you don't know how he probably went to somebody who had dinner on the table, sat back, hugged on him, rubbed his shoulders and whatever, had some, a couple of drinks and then went home to you. Because he went to find what he wasn't getting at home from somebody else. Allegedly, and in my opinion. Now let's move on to Maurice and Kimmy. Maurice is sitting there having a conversation with Kimmy, telling her how Monster grades are bad and he can't drive his car. He thought it would be an incentive for his grades to get better. Monster don't give a rat's ass, because I believe in my heart of hearts, Monster didn't want to be there anyway. He was forced to stay with you guys, get a little exposure on TV. Kimmy don't care one way or another, because everything in Kimmy's being tells me that she don't really care for Monster. She tolerates him because that's your son. I don't think she cares for Monster. Because the minute you miss and hit his name, he's special. But then when you said Jalen, she perked up. Well, maybe, you have to really want it. She's basically saying your son is lazy and slacking, and Jalen was the exceptional kid who didn't slack and he worked hard. And y'all trying to put them two together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, Kimmy, you got to be a dummy not to read between the lines of what you just said about Monster versus Jalen. But I digress. Now, she's saying, at the end of the day, you and her are having this intimacy issue where you don't want to, she wants more time with you, and you don't want to give up the time over the intimacy. Maurice, this is the craziest stuff I've ever heard. It really is. And Kimmy, for you to tolerate all of this just to have a husband, it's weird to me. But I'm going to kind of break down what I actually see. Okay? What I actually found out after watching the episode is Maurice is kind of like what the alleged, therapist said. Now, I'm not a therapist. But as I was listening, I agree with the therapist. You are replacing intimacy for something that you were lacking in your life. And your thing was food, because remember, Maurice used to be a heavy-set guy who, I don't know if he had weight loss surgery or whatever, but he ended up losing a lot of weight. Kimmy found Maurice, I don't know, on social media, whatever, but she thought he was cute, set up an appointment for her son to go get his hair done by Maurice, and that was her introduction to start flirting with him. Okay, so she found him as a skinny, new Maurice. Kimmy wanted a husband because, hey, according to her, Jalen's father wasn't, and the daddy she grew up with, remember at the pool, when her and Nell had the confrontation, she don't like nobody yelling at her because she grew up in a volatile house where her father yelled and he was an alcoholic. So now I got this nice guy who don't yell, he's cute, and he can, and he treats me good. The only sacrifice that I have to, I'm willing to take on is he wants me to sleep with him 3 to 4 times a day. So I'm willing to sacrifice my body to him 3 or 4 times a day and use the excuses. This is my husband. I have to do it in order to have a good, soft life, because I grew up traumatized by men in my childhood. So for her, what Maurice is doing is okay, because this is the best she's ever had. And it's the same thing with Tisha. Tisha, according to Marceau, came from across the tracks. Now, you remember some episodes early in when Marceau went down there to Bessemer to some type of party. It was on and popping with Tisha family. They was as ghetto as they come. She had a brother that was impregnated lady that was still married or it was all weird. So Letitia Scott and Kimmy Scott, Scott 1.0 and 2.0, feel like the Scott brothers are the best thing that ever happened to them based on their environments that they came from. I get it. Maurice is sitting here telling the therapist, and I quote, I can lay down longer than you can stand up. Stand up. He's telling the therapist that I don't care what y'all say. We can sit here and talk all day and I can learn things about myself. But what I will not do is give up my intimacy. And Kimmy is saying, I'm good with the intimacy. You're going to get that. But can we swap some of those times to just be together? To just hang out? Now remember, again, I'm going to show you how much they contradict themselves. Back in the day, Maurice and Kimmy went to therapy or something before, and I think that was with Dr. Francis, and they were supposed to have date nights and quality times. We've seen that once or twice, and it never happened again, or at least it wasn't filmed. So we back to Kimmy asking for time. What happened to the date nights, Kimmy? Okay, Kimmy said when we go on vacation and relax, he just want to do that all day. Why are you going on vacation? Just to lay around and have intimacy all day and not actually go visit the sites and go out to eat and have fun. I'm not saying she don't have to do that if she chooses to. That is her business. But from what I'm gathering, Maurice is treating you somewhat like a blow-up doll. He's treating you just like you're available to him whenever he needs that satisfaction. Because remember, food was satisfaction for them, but their dad locked up the refrigerator. So these guys would go up in the ceiling and pull whatever out to satisfy themselves. And now he has replaced food with sex as a child. And it led into his adulthood. So now let's go back to the whole cheating thing. Maurice needs sex, intimacy that much. It's not unbelievable that he ain't cheating or had cheated. Because if there was a time and a space in your relationship where you just wasn't willing to do it or didn't want to do it or didn't feel like doing it, he went out and got it somewhere else. He had to. So I believe more so if anybody did any cheating out of the Scott boys, definitely Maurice. Because there is no man in the world that has a sexual appetite the way he does, and you tell him no, and he's not going to go out and get it somewhere else. 2 words, Tiger Woods. That's what I see when Maurice gets to talking. He has an addiction, and everybody is trying to say that in a nice way, but won't come out and say it. He has a sex addiction just like Tiger Woods did. And Kimmy, if you don't stop it, stuff is going to start coming out of the woodworks. And maybe the women he had it with didn't want to say nothing, signed the NDA. I don't know. But it does give me Maurice has a problem. And you're sitting there letting yourself get ran through instead of saying, hey, I love you to death, but I can't continue this. You cannot keep going at this pace. And you said that. And he doesn't respect you enough to honor you as his wife and say, I'm sorry, babe. I need to, if this is really affecting you that way, then we need to find some other way in order to me to get satisfied. But I also need to respect you. I don't want you to feel like you're being attacked by your husband. When that man went on television, on Beyonce's Good Internet, and said, roll over and take it while you was battling the big C, told everybody all we need to know about him. But yet you come on here every week and defend Reese. Reese this. You know, when Reese, he come from some special, his background's different. I don't give a... Reese 40 years old now. He know right from wrong. Reese is not 20-year-old Reese or 30-year-old Reese. Reese is 40-some years old with 2 daughters that don't come on the show and a son, and he on his 2nd marriage. And he still don't realize what he doing to you is wrong. I'm just saying, Reese has an addiction problem that y'all need to get checked. That's crazy. Okay? Either that or he has a lifelong supply of Cialis or Viagra. That's all I'm saying. Because Kimmy, there's going to come a time in your life where you're going to be going through menopause. If you ain't there yet, you almost there. And there's going to be some hormone imbalances, and you are not going to want to do anything or be touched or whatever, certain times of day or month or whatever. And that's where your problem is going to start. If y'all don't get Maurice the help he freaking need. Something's wrong with that dude. And this is not even a laughing matter, Kimmy. This man's treating you like a freaking rag doll, like you just a toy to him. And you just sitting here trying to make excuses for it? That doesn't make sense. It's never enough. You said it. She said, I think the sex is excessive. She just don't, he said it's a natural occurrence. He's Maurice is hypersexual and close to a sex addiction if he doesn't have one. You need to get that checked out because that is crazy to me. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in a very peculiar situation down the road because you're not going to be able to keep up. And that's all I'm saying. Now, with that being said, Kimmy and Latisha Scott obviously have stuff going on in their household and they're not being transparent with their castmates. Now, they've opened up with the cameras, we see it, but when you're sitting down at these various luncheons and dinners and they're like, what's going on? Why ain't you just saying that? You know what? Nell or Destiny, you know what? Maurice be wearing me. I mean, he kind of, he likes to do it just a little bit more. These women may be able to give you some advice. That's what they're saying. Talk to them about certain things. Now, again, it's hard on reality TV because you tell them stuff, then they use it against you later on. But y'all sitting there acting like y'all marriage is perfect, like Nell said. And y'all not transparent. And we're finding out there's all kind of cracks in this marriage. Tisha, Marceau said he caught you from across the tracks. I can tell. Your mama did not do you right by what she did. Because apparently you think anytime a man lays his hand on you, you got to open up your legs. Which explained a lot at that Christmas special when you said you had more sexual partners than Marceau did. Y'all think about it. I listen to what they say. Sometimes I forget, I have to write it down. But I listen to what they say. Kimmy, same thing. You're sitting here telling us Maurice thinks he's right about everything. Maurice he think he's some type of professor. What they used to call, old castmate called him Martin Luther Maurice King, thinking he just knows everything, have the answer to everything. That's crazy. But then y'all sit around here ridiculing these other women that was on the show, including your former castmates who wouldn't tolerate the BS from her husband. While y'all sit here tolerating cheating, y'all sitting here tolerating your husband talking to you like you're a 5-year-old. You're sitting here tolerating your husband using you like a sex toy. Y'all okay with that. But you gonna get on her because she said, hey, he ain't gonna sit here and be having no babies on me and I got 4 kids and we've been together 15 years and I'm just supposed to apologize and let it go. No, I'm moving on. You're mad because she moved on and wouldn't stay in the situation that y'all got y'all behinds in. And y'all won't leave. Because based on what you're saying, this is the best y'all had. Tisha and Kimmy, this is the best relationship y'all ever had. Based on y'all upbringings. But your old castmate had a better, more solid foundation upbringing. And she know crap when she see it. And she walked away because she know her self-worth and said, I'm better than this. Y'all don't even value your self-worth. There is no way in the world that you should still be allowing Maurice to treat you the way he treats you after your whole diagnosis, after the way he treated your son. And this didn't come from nobody but your son's mouth. And you made excuses then. You get on Beyonce's Good Internet every time something happens with Maurice that don't look good. You get on Beyonce's Good Internet and try to explain it to us. And then Tisha and Marceau, and I love Marceau, I keep saying it, will get on Beyonce's Good Internet and try to clean up what happened. And Marceau would do most of the talking and Tisha just sit there and say a little bit of stuff. Because she is really controlled by Marceau. Just my opinion. All right. Now, with that being said, the last thing I'm discussing, I'm getting out of here, is these construction jobs. This show is about Black excellence. This show is about real estate and constructions. Hey, I didn't even know Tisha had a real estate license. Let's be honest. Destiny got one too. Are they selling any houses? Show me them showing houses or something. The only time I seen a complete project was Martell's house that he couldn't sell. He moved Ariane in, and Black Cigar Lounge. That's it. And it looks like Maurice and Kimmy do have some kind of office over there. But I can tell you Marceau didn't build it because when they asked Marceau about building onto their office and helping him out, Kimmy didn't want him there because he said he didn't finish stuff and he moved too slow. Y'all remember that? Go back some episodes. You'll see. Go back a few seasons. Okay? Now, Marceau was working on a little strip mall center thing. And he was going to put some retail in and maybe a salon or a barbershop. Never seen that finish. Go back and look. Kimmy and Maurice, they had a whole tasting at some place. They was going to make a little bistro restaurant. I don't know if they ever did it or was that just for filming. I don't know. Marceau and Tisha had a previous office where Tisha walked in and said, is this my office? And he said, no, that's so-and-so's office, who at the time was some partner they was working with. And they're still working on Scott Manor. Now, I don't know how big a crew Marceau got, but you might want to add some more bodies to the crew if you want to get your stuff done. because there is a lot of stuff you got going on and it's just not moving fast enough. Just my opinion. But again, the show is about Black excellence, about construction, about realtors and all of that crap. So we got to at least pretend that we realtors. Hell, even Destiny pretending she in real estate right now. Marceau come out there with some, not Marceau, I'm sorry. Martell come out there with these $1 million blueprints about some house project he building. With who, Martell? You and Ariane in a hard hat and the little one? Come on. Again, I understand completely why Letitia Scott and Kimmy Scott get so heated and angry at those women, because the anger and the disdain and the things you really want to say to your husbands, you can't. So you take it out on Nell, your old castmate, or anybody else that's sending smoke your way. That's what I see. Destiny, beware. These chicks are not loyal. That's all I'm going to say. And with that being said, this is Generation X Nation. Like, subscribe, show some love. Give me some heart emojis. Thank you to my channel. I appreciate it. And look at some of my other stuff, okay? And I'll try to get back to my 3-minute wrap-ups because I hate doing long videos anyway. So if you took the time to listen, I definitely appreciate it. And with that being said, you guys be safe. Have a wonderful 2026. May all your dreams and goals and ambitions come true this year. Don't worry about what's going on up there in Washington, D.C. We can't control that. That is all under God's control, period. You guys go have a great rest of your day. Peace, and I'm out.